After living in Healdsburg for over a decade, I've watched tourists make the same mistakes every single year. They show up to harvest season without reservations, they miss our #3 ranked Christmas celebration entirely, and never discover that Tuesday afternoon secret that would change their whole trip. So today I'm exposing the exact dates, secret spots, and booking hacks for tourists to feel like locals. So let me start by telling this. There's exactly one time each year you can watch next year's wines being made, and it's right now, September through October. That's it. Come November, you've missed it for another year. The whole valley transforms during harvest. I mean, it's incredible. Having lived here, I can tell you the place literally smells different. This sweet, fermenting grape scent everywhere. Tractors loaded with grape bins rolling down Dry Creek Road before dawn. Winemakers running on pure adrenaline after days without sleep. It's an incredible feeling to experience. But what I find most incredible is how these aren't your regular tastings. Jordan Vineyards in Alexander Valley, for example, runs a great experience. They'll take you right onto the crush pad while grapes are being processed. You're tasting previous vintages while the new one is being created, literally 20 feet away from you. Ridge Vineyard on Lytton Springs Road goes even further. Sometimes they'll let you help with punch downs in the fermentation tanks. And they've been here since the 70s, mixing old school techniques with modern technology. Even experienced wine people find it fascinating. And unlike the December tree lighting event that brings 10,000 people to downtown, which I'll tell you about later, these harvest experiences are intimate with maybe 12 people max on each tour. That exclusivity is exactly why they book out weeks in advance. Most places open reservations 60 to 90 days out, so set phone reminders, calendar alerts, whatever, because once those stores open, the best ones definitely disappear quickly. So why bother? You're witnessing the one time a year the entire agricultural community comes together and buzzes around with life. You're not watching wine country, you're actually part of it. The same families have worked these vineyards for decades. When you visit during harvest, you're seeing a year's worth of careful farming culminate in wines people will treasure for generations. But if driving from winery to winery isn't your thing, I've got the perfect solution. But first, if you're finding this kind of local information helpful, then please do hit that subscribe button right now. Every week, I'm sharing what living in wine country actually teaches you and what it feels like, from harvest secrets to hidden trails to which neighborhoods are worth moving to. Plus, I'm always diving into something that completely changes how you might think about Sonoma County. And if it doesn't, hopefully it's still helpful. So one thing that is fun to do is to walk the downtown plaza wine crawl. There's 26 tasting rooms within a walking distance of the plaza. Park once, taste all afternoon, no designated driver. This is what makes Healdsburg different from anywhere else in wine country. Having shown countless visitors around town, I've watched how this completely changes their wine country experience. Alexander Valley, Dry Creek Valley, Russian River Valley, you're tasting wines from all three without ever getting back on your cart. Starting off in the plaza, you've got Marine Layer Wines, which is on Center Street, just on the east side of the plaza. And the tasting room's got a modern coastal vibe with a warm and bright atmosphere. They specialize in cool climate Pinots and Chardonnay from the Sonoma coast. The staff here is awesome, giving you a very approachable wine country tasting experience. There's nothing stuffy about this place. And then 2 minutes away, you've got Cartograph that does something completely different. Have you ever had a Gruner Veltliner, I can't even say it, from California, or a Russian River Riesling? This is where you expand beyond the usual Cab, Zin, and Chardonnay routine, though they nail those too. Each tasting room's got its own personality. Some are sleek and modern, others are like someone's living room. You end up in conversations with other wine lovers, comparing notes and getting recommendations. The same intimate vibe happens at the Tuesday Farmers Market, which we'll get into in a little bit, where locals actually have conversations instead of rushing through transactions. And there's a social energy in both experiences that you just don't get at bigger venues. Your walk should also end up at Sagacio Family Vineyards. The family's been making wine here since 1895. When they pour their old vines in from 100-year-old vines the founders planted years ago, you're literally tasting history. They'll tell you their prohibition stories and how their great-grandparents kept vineyards alive, selling grapes for home winemaking. Each sip connects you to wine country in ways few experiences can. And you're tasting all three valleys in one afternoon, learning their distinct personality: Alexander Valley's bold, structured cabs and Dry Creek's famous Zinfandels and Rhone varietals, and then Russian River's exceptional Pinot Noirs and Chardonnay. Walking the plaza becomes wine education that's actually genuinely enjoyable. From experience, pacing is everything. With 26 options, the temptation is to try and hit them all, or you could never hit them all. Just choose, 2 or 3 and spend really quality time in each. Talk with staff and learn the stories. I mean, quality definitely beats quantity every time, and you won't regret it. The Plaza Walk also brilliantly solves the Wine Countries group challenge. Someone wants big reds, another prefers crisp whites. There's always one chasing some other trendy wine as well. So here people can split up, explore different tasting rooms, and meet back to compare notes. The flexibility is incredible. I mean, speaking of downtown experiences, there's one September event that brings together our entire community together in a really amazing way. And that's Healdsburg's Arts Festival, which is in September. The Plaza becomes Northern California's premier celebration, and missing it means waiting another full year. This isn't some generic craft fair with traveling vendors selling the same stuff you see everywhere. And there's over 45 California artists who live right here, capturing the landscapes that you're experiencing. I mean, I've watched this festival evolve over the years, and the quality still amazes me. Painters who've spent decades perfecting vineyard light, or photographers who know exactly when each valley looks at its best. Sculptors working with reclaimed wine barrels, and jewelry makers incorporating grape leaves into their design. Everything connects to this place in ways that matter. And here's the thing, doors open at 10 a.m. and you need to be there. The best pieces, especially smaller items perfect for gifts, can disappear very quickly. And artists bring limited quantities of their work. So once it's gone, it's gone. It's just like those pancakes at Acorn Cafe that locals line up for. But I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. The best stuff here requires showing up early and knowing exactly what you're after. Live music builds throughout the day, starting with acoustic acts in the morning, ramping up as wine tasting picks up. The whole plaza flows with this energy that shows you what Healdsburg is about, and it's more than just the wine. The same beauty that makes great wine attracts creative people of all kinds, and this festival is when that creative community shows itself most clearly. I mean, logistics matter here. Bring cash, since many artists still prefer it for smaller purchases, or today we've obviously got Venmo. And pack a bag for accumulating those purchases, as well as the business cards and maybe a bottle of wine or two from nearby tasting rooms. The food also deserves its own spotlight. Local restaurants create special festival items such as gourmet grilled cheese with local creamery cheeses, Mexican food from multi-generational family recipes. Healdsburg Farmers Market also set up vendor stands as well, so you can sample their prepared foods without waiting for the market day. So don't rush this. Get a glass of wine from a nearby tasting room. Most allow outside glasses during the festival. Find a bench, people watch, listen to music. And we talk to the artists about their process. Many love sharing stories about their behind-the-scenes pieces. And the festival is designed for exactly this kind of leisurely browsing and just taking it in over town. So don't miss the festival next time you're here. That's part of what makes it special. Everyone knows the date months in advance, and the whole town shows up for it. But if you think September's special, wait until you see what December brings to our little wine country town. So the Healdsburg Downtown Plaza tree lighting is on December the 6th this year. Mark it down. That's when you'll understand why Newsweek ranked us as the #3 best Christmas town in America. Our downtown transforms into something that rivals any European Christmas market, except better because it's got wine as well. And this season kicks off with, it's called the Season to Sparkle, which runs from November the 15th through to December the 31st. But the first weekend in December is when everyone shows up downtown. Having experienced this for a few years, I can tell you it's pure magic, the kind that makes even cynical people get misty-eyed. Well, maybe not misty-eyed, but it's a lot of fun. The evening unfolds perfectly. At 5 p.m, the Healdsburg Chorus begins in the plaza, and this is a legitimate choir. They practice year-round and save their best for this evening. Santa arrives at 6 o'clock in an event which is all unto itself. It's a fire truck with sirens blazing, horse-drawn carriage, and once even a motorcycle with with reindeer antlers. The city does this right. Kids love it. Honestly, so do plenty of adults. And over 50 carefully curated vendors transform the plaza and surrounding streets into an extraordinary holiday market. Handmade ornaments, local crafted jewelry, artisanal foods, gifts you won't find anywhere else. But what strikes me every year is just the authenticity. These are real families coming together with kids who go to school together, parents from soccer practice, business owners who know their customers by name. When that 40 to 50 foot tree lights up, the collective gasp and cheer, I mean, it can't be faked. Downtown becomes literally a winter wonderland with thousands of lights on every tree, every storefront, and every possible surface. Local businesses compete informally for the best displays. I mean, I've seen wreaths made entirely of wine corks, or trees decorated with miniature wine bottles, and even a nativity scene where wise men bought gifts of Cabernet, Pinot, and Chardonnay. But do dress in layers, since December evenings hover in the 40s, but crowds and excitement soon warm things up. Arrive by 3 o'clock when vendors set up to browse before the ceremony and secure must-have items. Many create special pieces just for this event that sell out fast, and the subsidiary events make the evening complete. Tasting rooms stay open late with holiday wines, some offering mulled wine or hot toddies. Restaurants feature special menus. Hotel Healdsburg usually sets up a small station on its terrace, and these touches matter. What's authentically Healdsburg is how wine country sophistication blends with genuine small-town warmth. I mean, you might sip $100 Cabernet while watching kids make snow angels in fake snow the city brings in. That juxtaposition is pure Healdsburg, something worth understanding how special that combination really is. So now let's talk about the restaurant reservation that's harder to get than, let's say, Taylor Swift tickets, and why it's worth the effort. And that's SingleThread Farms, the Michelin star restaurant here in Healdsburg. They grow ingredients on a 24-acre farm and actually pick them the morning before you eat them. I mean, reservations are pretty impossible to get, but it's worth persevering. I mean, that's why SingleThread put Healdsburg on the international culinary map. There's only 3 restaurants in the US in the list of the top 50 restaurants in the world, and SingleThread is one of them. The other 2, one's in New York and one's in San Francisco, so it's in pretty good company. And it's definitely a special treat, but it's worth it for the experience. And this isn't farm to table as marketing fluff. They own the farm, they employ the farmers, and plan menus based on what's growing in the garden that day. When they say the turnips were picked that morning, their farm director literally walked out at dawn, harvested them for that evening's service. The reservation system is pretty brutal though, but it is simple. At 9 o'clock on the first day of each month for the following month. Not approximately 9 o'clock, but exactly 9 o'clock. Set multiple alarms, have your credit card ready, be logged in before 9 o'clock. When that clock hits 9, you'd better be clicking. Tables vanish incredibly quickly. An insider tip: sign up for their newsletter immediately. Cancelled reservations do sometimes go on the mailing list first. And weekdays are marginally easier to get in than weekends, though we're talking difficult versus almost impossible. And have backup dates ready. The system won't hold your spot while you think. And what they've created on 24 acres is amazing. Over 100 varieties of vegetables, of herbs and fruits, and orchards, greenhouses, botanical garden, and chickens for the eggs. Similar to how the Saturday Farmers Market showcases our agricultural diversity, which I'll explain soon, SingleThread demonstrates what's possible when you control every step from seed to plate. And chefs work directly with the farmers, planning what to grow, when to harvest, and how to showcase each ingredient at its absolute peak. I mean, this level of integration just doesn't exist anywhere else. The meal runs 11 courses, each one a story. You'll learn about those radishes that were planted 28 days ago specifically for this preparation. The honey comes from hives near their apple orchard. Each dish arrives with its own biography, sometimes down to the specific garden row. I mean, it is theatre and agriculture and fine dining merged into something entirely new. Wine pairing showcases Sonoma County's incredible diversity through tiny producers you've never heard of, often from vineyards just miles away. The sommeliers know every producer personally, share stories that make each glass matter more. While they pour wines from around the world, the emphasis stays local, and it stays incredibly personal. Smaller parties have got better, but 2's definitely easier than 6. Also, SingleThread operates an inn with 5 rooms above the restaurant. Inn guests get priority for restaurant reservations. That being said, if dining here is your primary goal and your budget allows, booking a room might be the smartest play. I mean, that being said, there are some great hotels in Healdsburg and you'll pay a lot less money if you can get the reservation first. But plan for 3 to 4 hours for this dinner. This is a farm-to-table experience at its absolute pinnacle where morning harvest becomes evening dinner. They're telling you about a story about the specific place at the specific moment through the food. That story takes time to tell properly. After all that wine and food, you'll definitely need the next recommendation to clear your head and see wine country from a different perspective. And that's all about the local outdoor escapes. I mean, wine country isn't just about tasting rooms. The best views come with a little sweat and locals know exactly where to find them. When you're down in the valleys visiting wineries, you can't see the forest for the vines, literally. That changes completely on Nancy's Ridge Loop, which is just in the city limits. This 2.1 mile hike gives you great views of the surrounding area. All 3 wine valleys are actually visible from one particular viewpoint. I mean, it's well marked, but if you are worried about finding your way, then download maps beforehand. Self-service can get a little spotty. The trail starts gently through massive centuries-old valley oaks and coastal live oaks. I mean, not scrubby little things. These are super cool trees. These giants provide shade, even on scorching hot days. And then fall is also a photographer's paradise here, with golden oats contrasting against the red and yellow vineyards below. Halfway up, there's a viewpoint where most people stop, but don't. Keep on going. The real payoff is at the top of the ridge. A perfectly positioned bench lets you see Alexander Valley stretching north, Dry Creek Valley west, and Russian River spreading south and to the east. In clear days, you'll see the Pacific Ocean. But those different soil colors visible from above, red volcanic soils of Alexander Valley, the Dry Creek benches, foggy Russian River bottom. That's why the wine tastes so different. The geology becomes real up here. An early morning or late afternoon is ideal. The light's better for sure, but it's really about the wildlife. I mean, I've seen deer, wild turkeys, hawks, once incredibly a bobcat, which is super cool. Bring water even in winter. The climb's steady and, you just need to keep hydrated. And then Russian River kayaking in the fall and winter shows you a completely different side of wine country. Forget the summer crowds. The river's actually at better levels thanks to water releases, and you'll have it all to yourself. Picture this paddling through the morning fog, full vineyard colors on both banks, absolute silence while you paddle your way along. Outfitters in town rent year round, providing wetsuits for winter, though water's usually only in the 50s, so not terribly cold. With fewer people, wildlife emerges from the river. Otters, you see herons, and masses of migrating birds. I mean, it's a really amazing experience. And wine tasting's intense. Your palate fatigues and everything starts blend together. A morning hike or an afternoon paddle helps you hit reset. You return to tasting rooms fresh, actually able to appreciate what you're tasting. And these aren't wilderness trails requiring serious gear. They're well maintained, clearly marked, designed for regular people. Hike in the morning, still make your lunch reservation and look presentable. But what locals understand that visitors miss is how everything connects. That oak shading the trail, its acorns might influence a Cabernet through the soil. The river you're paddling through irrigates the vineyards. The fog you're moving through makes the Russian River perfect for Pinot Noir. But here's where it gets even more local. Let me tell you about the markets tourists don't even know about. Everyone hears the Saturday farmers market, but I love the Tuesday market. The Saturday market is legitimately famous with over 50 vendors on the west side of town, and it takes place during the summer months from 8:30 to noon. And obviously a lot of the people displaying, they're farmers, all within a 10-mile radius, whether that's the tomatoes they've grown, the chickens they've raised, aging the cheese. They'll tell you exactly where it's from, when it was planted and when it was picked. But it's the prepared food that makes Saturday special. The pancake wars alone are worth witnessing. My guy near the north entrance makes them with ricotta and lemon zest, but honestly, any vendor with a line is solid. And I love Teasar. And then there's the folks from Teasar who've got the restaurant opposite Mill District. They have a great stall on Saturday making breakfast sandwiches. Again, that's definitely one not to miss. And here's the Tuesday secret. So again, through the summer months from 9 o'clock through to midday, there's a market in the square on Tuesday. Maybe only 15 to 20 vendors instead of the 50, but there's some great stalls there. The energy is more intimate, probably less performative, and vendors have time to talk to you. They'll explain unfamiliar vegetables, share recipes, and tell you what's coming next week. The Tuesday market in the plaza shows you the real Healdsburg life. Locals catching up, kids playing while parents shop. And then also on a Tuesday evening in the summer, there's the music in the square. So even at 10 a.m. in the morning, people are putting out their picnic tables and their blankets ready for the performance that starts at 6 o'clock in the evening. So the whole plaza is a sort of gathering place all day during on a Tuesday, and starting off with the market, which closes around 12:30. And there's so many different great options for both purchasing produce as well as grabbing yourself some lunch. So whether it's the Saturday or the Tuesday farmers market, they both showcase how we're an agricultural community and wine happens to be that crop. The same soil and climate that make great wine make incredible produce. Many vendors supply local restaurants. I mean, if you love something at dinner, just ask the chef, he'll probably tell you exactly where he buys it from. I've created countless dishes along the way using the exact same ingredients. So talking about restaurants, let me tell you where exactly people eat. So forget the Instagram spots. These are where we would take our sort of out-of-town friends. I mean, I do love Acorn Cafe. It serves amazing pancakes, but it's just got a really good wide selection of food for a brunch or lunch. Ravas is also a personal favorite of mine. It's Spanish-inspired small plates that honestly taste exactly like you in Spain. They do a paella, potatoes bravas. There are so many different great options. The octopus is always incredibly tender. They've got ham, they've got scallops. There's so many different options. I mean, after dozens of visits, I've never got tired of their menu. They source everything locally, which makes sense, but they don't force it with Spanish ingredients if those are better. They're confident in what they do. Another great place if you fancy something very different is Tizar, which is opposite the new high-end development Mill District. It's run by the most amazing chef who is Hungarian, and they do incredibly authentic Wiener Schnitzel. They also have a great beer garden, which is a really great place to hang out for a lunchtime or something like that on a Friday. And then December wine tasting is worth mentioning because it is very different from the normal summer chaos. I mean, fireplaces are often crackling, holiday wines are appearing, and actual conversations instead of rushed pours, which sometimes you get in the summer peak season. Summer brings tour buses and bachelorette parties. December brings serious wine lovers who really want to relax and chill out and learn about wine. Many wineries release special bottles only available at tasting room at this time of year, whether it's special blends or large format bottles, which are perfect for gifts. And staff finally have time to share these properly. I mean, after living here a while, I think October is probably my favorite month. I mean, 70s during the day, 50s at night, no fog, hopefully no rain, no extreme heat. Harvest energy fills the valley, and Healdsburg Crush on October 12th brings together so many different great wineries. I mean, hotels haven't shifted to holiday pricing, so if you are going to visit once, I would definitely recommend coming in October. December offers a different kind of magic. As I talked about, I mean, the Christmas tree lighting ceremony is just a great time to experience Healdsburg and really see the community come together. And it's no surprise that Newsweek ranked it #1 for being a Christmas town. Like, when to avoid? I mean, to be honest, I would probably avoid peak summer weekends, especially holidays. Not because Healdsburg isn't amazing, but thousands of tourists, it just gets super busy in town. And that is a downside of living in a place that has got such great appeal. But then weekdays are often quieter in the summer, so if you can do that, then it's worth avoiding those peak weekend times. And spring is also beautiful in April and early May when everything's green, the wildflowers are blooming, and you've got the mustard seed in the vineyards. But March can dump rain, so maybe avoid that. I mean, one year we actually got 15 inches of rain in March alone, so definitely pack accordingly. But October remains my favorite pick for Healdsburg. The harvest energy, ideal weather, vineyard colours, restaurants featuring peak ingredients. It really is Healdsburg at its absolute best. Now you have 8 authentic Healdsburg experience with dates, locations, and how to approach them. From September's harvest energy to December's holiday magic, you're ready to experience wine country like a local. If you're seriously considering making the move to Healdsburg or anywhere in Sonoma County, I'd love to help you make that happen. Whether you're ready to buy now, thinking about selling, or just starting to explore the possibility of wine country life, then do shoot me an email at david@BruingtonHargreaves.com and we'll have a conversation. We can talk about what your goals are, what your timeline is, which neighborhoods might be good for your lifestyle. And since you know the 8 best things to do in Healdsburg, you're probably wondering where to eat between all these different experiences. Well, I've got you covered. Check out this video right here where I'm breaking down the absolute best lunch spots in Healdsburg and Windsor. And I'm talking about the places where winemakers grab a quick bite during harvest, where locals meet for business lunches, and yes, where you can find the perfect meal after that morning hike or farmer's market visit. Click here and let me show you where we really eat in wine country. See you there.